We had another gentleman here, and he was in one of these things. Now, as I told you earlier, freezer, freezer, freezer. If you open this, it's actually closed in from the rest of the actual sections. So this is, you'd almost be frozen. So we had a guy in here. He came out, and we were doing an EVP session, and I came up here and I said, okay, we just had a fella in one of these fridges. Was he in here? You don't hear anything. Was he in here? And you hear what sounds like somebody says, behind you. Well, what's behind me? Then I go, was he in? And before I finish it, you actually hear a male voice say,
the fridge. Did he say the fridge?
Does that mean somebody's in this room watching you? More than likely. And they understand you. That's pretty cool.
If there's any way that you can contact us through these instruments we brought, if you need to take some energy from the batteries, go ahead. If you need to take some energy from us, please go ahead, from Daryl and myself, if you could leave the other people alone. Come on in and join us. I'm feeling something, couldn't tell you what it is, but there's something here. Could you tell us, are you bothered by our being here tonight? Is there any messages that you have for anybody here? Anything you'd like passed on?
People get into this business, this practice, because they themselves have had paranormal experiences, much like the Sasquatch and UFO investigators. They are composed of many skeptics within the groups. They're not necessarily trying to prove the existence of ghosts if they're called up by a client who claims that their home is haunted or they have uneasy experiences. They are very tight-knit and passionate. They don't charge money. They're all non-profit organizations, and they're extremely driven in what they do.
We have two tables here, and it's probably one of the last places that you would lay. And this is where I guess they would do the autopsies, drain the bodily fluids. So what's slanted goes down into the drain and to wherever it goes. A lot of people say that they see something out of the corner of their eye. They'll see a shadow. And that's quite common. This room was quite active when we were in here. So imagine being in here at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, there's no noise, you're just asking questions. And as you look around the room, in this corner, for some reason, there was an awful lot of what we perceive to be movement of shadows. But that can be affected by cars going by, lights outside, so those I can kind of dispel a little bit. But in here, it was quite active over in this corner here. Again, didn't feel threatened. A lot of people think that the paranormal is all about scary stuff, and it's not. It's just trying to maybe get some answers or get some answers for ourselves, not just for our clients, but for ourselves too, because we have open minds. Like, I'm a skeptic with an open mind, and I'm just waiting for something to come in and fill that void and make me a true believer. But
it is driven by a passion to find out what is at the bottom of these paranormal experiences that they themselves have had, that their clients may have had. It is very much driven by this conviction that something could be there, and it's purely voluntary.
We did one residential in Chilliwack, and the lady had told us that she'd seen and heard things going up and down the hallway.
How old are you?
And we laid out myriad of equipment that we have that is affected by electrical, affected by movement, by sound.
Do you have a nickname?
What happened? I don't know.
What was that?
They squealed, they swore. I mean, it was the reaction you would expect. I wasn't frightened by that, but I wanted to know what did it.
So if you're here, can you please say hello? You're gonna have to try harder than that. what you're able to do is you're able to take history at its best and connect it into what is now. And when you can do that, you start going, wow, like the connections are just, it gives you a rush. It really does. To be able to find it and realize that something is still lingering around here. And they're people just like we were.
It's the perfect object of desire because it incites desire. It's an impossible, unobtainable object which can't be bagged in plastic wrapping or whatever, but rather it's always just out of reach, which propels the desire for these investigators. So if you recall Agent Mulder's poster in the X-Files, it's got that sort of spaceship, and beneath it, it says, "I want to believe." What I'm really interested in is this wanting, this desiring to investigate paranormal entities.
We go through everything trying to find out whether it's paranormal, whether it's not, whether it's unexplained. Let me rephrase that, unexplained or not. Then we make a list and we go back to the client and we tell them what we did find, if anything. If it's unexplainable, we go to them and we say, can you explain this? And if they can't explain it, and we can't explain it, then it has now become in the realm of unexplainable, paranormal, outside the norm. What is it? Well, maybe we don't know, but we're willing to come back and take another look. You want to hear something really funny? Remember how you said we're sensitives? But you didn't tell you how sensitive I am, right? Remember I told you the story about Hannah? Your name's Hannah?
Yes.
I won't tell you about the little girl who's standing close to you.